Hi, thanks for tuning in to Atomic-Moto's review of the Gaerne GX-1 boot. We'll break our review up into three separate sections. First, we'll talk about the construction, then we'll give you some information about the fit and specifications, and finally we'll wrap up with how the boot performs in the field. Are you ready? Construction. So the GX-1 starts out with split grain leather. It's a price point boot in Gaerne's line, but it shouldn't really be thought of in that way, and I'll explain why later. It's a 4-buckle design. The buckles are Gaerne's standard design, and they function excellent. They're really easy to use. They'll work in the mud. They work when it's dry, of course. They don't really need to be lubed. They're very easy to operate even when you've got a helmet and a lee brace on. You're bending over and trying to fasten them. The boot has plenty of plastic on it. It's got a plastic shin plate, large plastic inside ankle piece. It wraps up over the toe nicely. Plastic reinforcement on the rear calf, plastic heel counter, and then a good little bit of plastic support here on the buckle base over your outer ankle. It is not waterproof. Comes with a standard low quality insole, but the overall design of this boot is pretty typical, follows a typical motocross boot template. Fit and specifications. The height of this boot is about 15.5 inches. The weight of it is 3.99 pounds, just a shade under 4 pounds, which is actually fairly light for a motocross boot. The fit of the GX-1, like most of the Gaerne brand, or like all of the Gaerne brand, is excellent. The toe box is really wide. I mentioned before there's a price point boot, but the leather used and the very high quality plastic on all the plastic parts are very flexible. And so even though it's got a lot of support and a lot of protection on it, it's actually pretty comfortable and pretty easy to bend. The midsole, the Goodyear Welt midsole, and that's really rigid, which is what you want for a motocross boot. But overall, this is near the lighter, more walkable, more comfortable side of the motocross boot spectrum. And that's important. I'll get to it later, but that's important for guys that are dual sport riding, because typically a motocross boot, we try to delineate between different categories of boots, but this one actually does a pretty good job of crossing over for a lot of applications. Field comments. We could probably sum up our field comments by saying this. This is the best, in our opinion, the best $200 motocross boot out there. In fact, we don't really find anything that we like as much until you get up probably pretty close to $300. The GX-1 is made in Italy and has that really nice, precise European quality and fit and comfort. But really, this is an excellent boot, and we feel that it is the price point leader for its category. Because of the low weight and because of the nice quality plastic and the good flex, this boot actually works for motocross, but it can cross over and be used for more aggressive dual sport and adventure touring riders. You can walk a decent amount in it. It's not as flexible as a full-on dual sport boot, but for guys that are getting into more aggressive terrain, this is a good option. It's great for entry-level riders. It's great for guys that have a street boot and need something that is a little bit more protective for their more aggressive rides. It is great for guys that are doing dual sport on DRZ 400s. It's just a really nice, all-around, great quality MX boot. So in summary, Gaerne considers this a price point boot, but because the Gaerne standard of quality and quality materials is so high, we don't really want you to view it as that. We think that it's a good general purpose all-around boot that errs toward the side of more protection. Sure, it's a little bit stiffer than some other models. It's not the easiest boot to walk in, but it's really not that bad and does offer a lot more safety by virtue of all of that additional bracing and support. It retails for $197.95 and is available in sizes 8 through 14. Big sizes available, of course. And it's one of our favorite products. We sell a lot of them. We've been using this boot for a long time, tested ourselves. We really like it. So that's our review of the Gaerne GX-1 boot. Thanks for tuning in. We are Atomic-Moto, www.atomic-moto.com, home of the bombers. Our mission focus is enduro, dual sport, adventure touring, and off-road gear. And we make it a point to actually use that gear. Our goal is not to make a sale, but it is to win customers. We do that in 3 ways. First, we have a hand-picked selection of gear, only the best gear. Second, we make it a point to try and match the right gear to your bike, your type of riding, and even your region. And third, we back it up with the best possible customer service, things like fast free shipping, easy returns, and a professional staff. When you contact us, there's a person on the other end of the line that actually can breathe and has a pulse and fire a few synapses and give you intelligent answers and get you taken care of. So thanks for tuning in, and until next time.